Do tell me, Imran, at the very outset, how difficult is it really to spot these Ponzi schemes? How easy is it for investors actually to fall prey to them, in your opinion?
Well, it's all a matter of greed. And, Vikram, the main thing is that most Ponzi schemes attract investors with high returns. And I think the real red flag is that it sounds too good to be true. So I think that's what people really need to watch out for, that if there's something sounding too good to be true, it is. And I'll give you an example. I think, there are many small companies who, for example, might be making stock baskets, or you find companies saying that we'll be doing commodity trading and we'll give you a minimum of this much percentage and stuff like that. So, in normal instruments where you cannot get a fixed return, if somebody's promising you and saying, I'm going to give you 20% a month and returns like that, that's a big, big red flag. So anybody giving you 5 to 7% fixed return over and above what you can get in a bank is a big, big red flag.
Jump in on this. Is it increasingly difficult to separate the wheat from the chaff when it comes to financial influencers, the good ones from the bad ones, the Ponzi schemes from the good schemes that are being talked about by some of you?
Yes. So I personally believe that, all these things, there are very, very nuances over here. Okay. So when we talk about Ponzi schemes, okay, then recent ones like the pump and dump scheme, right? So it is very important for the people to actually understand the intent behind such kind of a promotion or such kind of a scheme that is being, carried out. It is extremely important for the people to understand the intent behind such a call taken. And the next one is, as we were speaking about red flags and, influencers talking about different schemes, very recently I was watching a past video of Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, and he said if he is able to earn 25% returns in the market, then he feels he's a king. And this is said by Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. But people who are actually watching this video and falling prey to it are assuming they can double and triple their money in a short period of time, which is practically impossible. And those are the basics which people will have to understand before they fastly jump into something, because you cannot become rich that quick. Then there is something definitely that's wrong, and people are in need and they just very easily fall into these things. And that's the biggest red flag. Follow the people, follow the experts who are in the field, know what they are earning. Then you can know, okay, will I be able to earn so much? If I am able to, then that means it's a scheme. So
but decoding the intent, Chandalekha, that is an important one for investors who are not exposed to the financial universe. And many of them are young, many of them are senior citizens. And that's where the help is required, and that's where an influencer comes in. But clearly, the influencer space, especially financial influencers, they are coming under a lot of scrutiny now, as far as I see it, because we talk about it day in and day out. Now, you have the finance minister speaking about this as well. There are certain laws that would be put in place to be able to control the kind of content that financial influencers put out. So, are the concerns, the corrections, the control, in your opinion, valid?
Yes, absolutely valid, because everything which Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman ji said is absolutely valid. This space has to be regulated, because this is very important. It is about wealth, and if there's no regulation, then people are going to lose a lot of money. Now, coming to the intent, as you said, it is very difficult to understand, right? Because people trust you. But let me tell you that these influencers, they come in different variations. Okay, you have 3 buckets in finance content creation. The first is the knowledge and awareness, second is opinion, and third is advice. It is very important to categorize these into 3 buckets. Now, if somebody is actually, imparting knowledge, giving awareness to someone, telling about the existence of a particular investment opportunity, then that is not something that can be called as an advice or can be taken straight. Now, the second comes the opinion. So where this comes in is you have knowledge and you have different perspectives about something, and you compare these things and give people your opinion. And this is again a gray area. So it depends on the influencer onto how much they are pushing you to get into something. And if that is stretching you, then definitely you are in the wrong place. And the third one is advice. Obviously, straight, direct advice that are given about a particular product, that are given about a particular stock, trading calls. These are things that fall into this category, and this is where extra regulation is definitely required. And now, as a personal finance influencer myself, I fall into the first two categories, where I'm always balancing out the knowledge and the opinion and trying to give the best to the people with absolute disclaimers.
Which we hope a lot more influencers do, Chandrlekha. But Mrin, do you see the evolving profile of investors who track the online universe and fall for these Ponzi schemes? Are the demographics and profile of these investors changing? Who among them are more vulnerable?
Only talking about these pump and dump schemes and these Ponzi schemes. But to me, I think, and the senior citizens, of course, have all of this phishing and all of this. But to me, I think from what I see, I think it's the young generation that is getting completely wrongly influenced by the influencers. So I'll give you some examples. It's not only about, getting like providing clickbaits, for example. It's also about, what some of these influencers with millions of followers are talking about, right? And some of the more prominent ones, for example, they're talking about one strategy fitting everybody. Like I saw an influencer who has more like couple of million followers talking about how asset allocation needs to be done in 30s. And we all know that personal finance is personal. You cannot have a generic asset allocation for people in 30s. Another influencer who recently was trying to sell insurance products before March 31st, saying that this is the best product for retirement. You've got influencers who are talking about how I made my first million. And then there are people giving you all sorts of hacks, like saying that, okay, so, the good thing about credit card is that, you'll have extra salary for 20 days or some crazy thing like that, right? So, I think it's not only about the clickbaits, right? To me today, a lot of young generation is actually following these people and building all the wrong financial habits. And I think that's a bigger worry as well.
Yeah, but what are the challenges then, Mrin, to be able to control these this entire space? Because regulation at one end, and then you have over-regulation as well, which sometimes cuts down the kind of freedom that you enjoy within the online universe in terms of content creation. Is that a problem area, you think? Is that going to be a challenge for the government, for the regulators?
Not really, and I think that you can have a balance in the regulation as well. I mean, obviously, it's always buyer beware, and it's unfortunate that people are not aware of this. And, I would like to say this very openly, that a lot of financial influencers, who are doing these 1 or 2 minute reels, at best, these are like some little hacks that can save you a little bit of money. It really cannot grow your wealth in the long term, So I think, if we can get the right messaging, if the regulator can get the right messaging across, on buyer beware, like, the mass media campaigns that are being done on phishing, for example. You need something similar like that. The other thing that I think is really required is that certainly I don't think that financial influencers should be allowed to promote brands. And, I know that there is a disclosure that they need to give, but even then, I think if you are promoting it, then you probably need to have things like riskometers available for most products, right? So there is always going to be this thought to say that, are we over-regulating or not? But given the fact that our financial literacy levels, even among educated, are so low in India, probably over-regulation might work better.
Do you agree there are always trends that one follows? And perhaps what Mrin is indicating is that we need more reels which really talk about, how you can stay away from Ponzi schemes. You need that much more financial literacy. Is enough happening over there? Is that a new avenue of growth, perhaps, for influencers like you?
So let me tell you very clearly where this comes in. So as we were talking about, like whether there should be regulation or whether there should not be regulation, definitely there has to be a balance. So now when an influencer talks about a lot of schemes available, not just the mutual funds, we all talk about even the government schemes, a lot of things available. And these people might not even, have any awareness about it and are getting aware. That's a positive outcome. Now, the negative outcome is promotion, where the same influencer is promoting a product that's harmful to the follower.